Good morning, neighbors, and welcome to an umpteenth episode, sorry, of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Namali. And we have Azim on the ones and 96s, and Jade in the studio. Again. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Queuing up the agenda for today.
Brilliant. Let's jump straight into it. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Today's topics for tea time. We'll see how much we can get into before we touch on Meridian Medical Corner at 8:15. But what we don't get to, we'll jump in afterwards. We'll talk about talk might not be so cheap after all. Former Senator Nigel Carty has allegedly won a defamation case against the Honorable Sean Richards. Ring the alarm. A brave man has gone viral for attempting to keep a fire at bay with a garden hose until fire and rescue arrived. Then we'll also talk about we'll talk about funds. He said that he would accept Carnival chairman if offered. Would he be able to revive our good old Sugar Mass? We'll also talk about Gaston Brown because he is fed up. Antigua and Barbuda's Gaston Brown is apparently fed up with some sister islands in the OECS. And more money, more problems. The ex-CEO of Wirecard is arrested in a case over missing billions. And we'll take a short break and we'll come right back with some more island tea.
Have you seen that post about Kayla in Snapchat? Lol, too funny.
What is funny about them spreading lies?
You can be so uptight. It's all in good fun.
It's only funny when it's not about you.
I heard it's true. Plus, they have video with her and two guys from my class.
Look, stop it.
Don't tell me what to do, baby sister. You can be such a pain.
Pain or not, stop saying those things about my friend. She's hurt enough as it is.
This is too good not to share.
Give it to me.
Mom, tell Lisa to give me my phone.
I don't care.
Give it to me.
No, she's in the hospital. That stupid video and all those mean things you all have been saying got to her. She tried to kill herself. So no, I won't give it to you.
Are you being cyberbullied, or do you know someone who is engaging in cyberbullying? Don't keep silent. Talk to a teacher, guidance counselor, your parents, or a trusted adult who can help. Break the silence. Remember, reporting is not snitching. This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UK Aid, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
This is an unprecedented announcement from Horseman's. Get up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. It's Horseman's Automotive Unprecedented Sales Event happening now. Yes, for the first time ever, you get up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Yes, pay zero VAT and get up to $30,000 off on top of that. This has never been seen before. Unprecedented savings at the Unprecedented Auto Sales Event at Horseman's Automotive. Up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Let me repeat, up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Don't miss this, it's unprecedented. Terms and conditions apply.
Our 18th episode of Island Tea, and I think we have the Meridian medical team around the corner, and they're going to be joining us shortly for some medical talk. So we're going to jump into our first topic very quickly, Kevin, while we wait for them to get settled, and then we'll introduce, I believe it's Dr. Holness this week.
Well, last
It's
time
not?
she said that the pharmacist would be coming.
Oh, the pharmacist, yes,
So
yes.
I'm not
yes,
sure if it would be the
Yes,
pharmacist. But
Yes.
yeah.
All right, so what's our first topic on the agenda?
First, we'll talk about former Senator Nigel Carty and a case against the Honorable Sean Richards. The judge, the judge orders Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards to pay former Senator Nigel Carty EC $375,000 for defamation. A High Court judge has ordered St. Kitts and Nevis's Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean K. Richards, to pay the former St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party Senator Nigel Carty EC $375,000 in damages for a 10-year-old defamation case. In his June 15th ruling of this year, His Lordship Mr. Justice Eddie Ventos awarded Carty, who was Minister of Education and Information in 2010, EC $50,000 for aggravated damages and $50,000 for exemplary damages. Richards at the time was sitting on the opposition benches. In awarding Carty $275,000 in general damages, Justice Ventos noted it was to compensate him for the wrong he was suffered and the damage to his reputation, to vindicate his good name, and for the distress, hurt, and humiliation which the defamatory publication Richards has caused Carty. The EC $375 total is to be paid by Richards to Carty within 28 days of the June 15th ruling.
$1/3 of $1 million in 28 days.
$375,000 is to be paid within 28 days of the ruling. June 15th ruling, so we already almost 9 days.
That's crazy.
9 days into the ruling.
That's crazy.
Richards, who is the People's Action Movement parliamentary representative for St. Christopher, number 5, sat on the oppositional benches when the defamation remarks were made on January 3rd and 16th in 2010
Wow.
on the political platforms. Yeah. That's a lot of money, you know.
Yeah, and a very short time too. I don't. Unless Sean is a millionaire, I don't understand like how that ruling could even make sense. But anyway, very very unfortunate. I can't even recall those incidents. Where was I? I was definitely saying it's when that happened. 2010, isn't it?
2010.
2010.
January 2010.
I left in 2011, so I was here. I wonder what Sean said.
The article didn't state what was said, but
Interesting. Let's move on.
let's talk about the viral.
Before we actually jump into that, for those of you who were tuned in a bit early, you probably heard some banter between Kevin and myself. So we want to apologize for Kevin saying those mean things to me. It was in good fun, but it wasn't appropriate for radio, so we do apologize for that. Seymour, good morning. My good pal. He messaged me immediately and expressed concern, so there you have it. And Azim wasn't here. Oh boy. So Kevin, continue.
So we're gonna jump into the what are we gonna call him? The garden fireman?
Who?
Garden fireman? A brave man. We can say who it is. You know who it is? Yeah. So
Jade, people can't hear you when you're responding to us.
no, it's okay.
She in here responding to us like she can't hear you.
They're busy clicking things. A brave man. I'll figure out if I want to put him on blast. But a brave man yesterday went viral for attempting to fight to fight a massive fire.
Oh, with the garden hose?
With the garden hose. With low water pressure. Listen. Apparently, the fire broke out when the young man, the not so young man, found out that the fire was brewing. Of course, the authorities were called, and they didn't show up for about a half an hour. So the young brave man took it upon himself to try to fight the fire with a garden hose. Would you have fought the fire with a garden hose?
No, but that's what you have to do. Like, as a matter of fact, like, there were a lot of people in that position yesterday, right? Like, let's be honest, there were a lot of people who had this fire because it started like way over almost like the Connery area came behind the airport and made its way all up towards, up past the Anglican Church in New Road and stuff like that. So it was definitely a scary moment for a lot of property owners, you know. I saw videos of people, and this is the one thing that I really want to talk about too is the fact that the community seemed to come together a lot in a lot of these situations. I saw a video where this one lady said a guy happened to be passing the house, and like he ended up like just jumping out of his vehicle and staying there and helping her like fight the fire that was literally in her backyard for like an hour and a half. So I think there was a lot of that going on with a garden hose.
With a garden hose. But
see why it's important to have water?
The importance. The good part is though, the young man was smart enough to wet the grass. Because don't waste your time trying to fight that massive fire with a garden hose. What is the smarter thing to do is wet the grass and soil wherever you're trying to keep the fire from going, and as wet as possible, because obviously it will keep the fire at bay for as long as possible. So kudos to him. I won't say who he is.
Just say a past guess.
Huh?
Just say a past guess.
A past guess. I'll let him be. But we are about to jump into Meridian Medical Corner, and we have the pharmacists with us.
We have two lovely young ladies in the studio with us, by the name of Nika and Lorraine from Meridian Medical Corner. So we're going to take a quick break and get back and jump right into the good stuff. All right? We'll be right back.
Different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Trish, let's go. The bus is about to leave.
You go. Tell mommy I had detention.
I'm not lying to mommy. Where are you going?
I have a date.
A date? Shh. Don't shush me. Where are you going? I hope it's not to see that old man again.
He's not that old. He just came back from away and he's bringing me a gift.
You know if mommy find out what she's doing.
She won't, because you're not going to tell her. I'm gonna bring some money for you too. He always gives me cash to top up my phone and stuff.
No, I don't want it, and I'm not letting you go. Get on the bus or I'm telling the principal.
Secretly receiving gifts or items from older people may be the beginning of sexual grooming, which often leads to sexual exploitation. Don't allow your friends to encourage you to keep quiet about them secretly meeting with an adult. Break the silence. Talk to a teacher, guidance counselor, your parents, or a trusted adult who can help. This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UKAID, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
What do you want in your pharmacy? Superior service? Check Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Quality drugs? Definitely Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Great prices? Always Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Call Meridian Medical Pharmacy at 465-5096 or 7 or 662-3274 or stop by at South Independent Square Street, Basse-Terre. Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Quality products, superior service, best prices.
Morning, everyone. Welcome. You are inside the Meridian Medical Corner on Win FM. Brought to you by Meridian Medical Consultants, South Independence Square, Basse-Terre. In our little corner, we discuss and answer your questions on common health issues and how they may affect you. It's your health. Get involved.
All right, welcome back, neighbors, to the umpteenth episode of Island Tea with Kevon and Damali. And we have in the studio, hold on, I forget the first one name, Nika.
Wow.
Nika and Lorraine, two lovely young ladies here from Meridian Medical Corner, and they're going to be chatting with us a bit about, I have no idea. So I'll pass it over to them for them to jump right into it. Ladies?
Okay, good morning, all. It is our pleasure to be here with Amali and Kevon, and the no idea topic is drug shortages. So today we just want to talk a little about that. You know, generally speaking, medications help to treat and control health issues, but from time to time we may experience shortages. And as with anything else in life, when something happens, sometimes persons become stressed. So what we are here to do is just to share what are some of the reasons for shortages and how we can manage. Because stress too, in the midst of that, makes the condition worse. So today we would probably just look at two main areas. One of them, shortages associated with outbreak in disease, and then some other factors. So that's basically what we are here about.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, so with the current pandemic, we decided to group the shortages. Like Lorraine said, we will look at the shortages relating to COVID, how COVID has affected us and caused us to have drug shortages.
Okay.
So what are some of the reasons for this? Okay, so anybody who is using medication regularly, you would have noticed in the past couple of weeks or so, you would have gone to the pharmacy and certain things would not have been available. You find if there is a demand outweighing supply situation, a shortage is going to be created. So, for example, in flu season, you know, Meridian carries flu vaccines, but there is a certain amount of vaccines that are available. After a certain time, you will not be able to get it because everybody wants to, you know, ensure that they're vaccinated. So that is one reason that can cause a shortage. In March, when everything was announced, there was persons flocked the pharmacies trying to stock up on medication.
Yeah.
So there is a problem of hoarding or stocking up, if you want to, you know, put it decent. That created an initial shortage because, yes, you would normally have a certain amount of medication. You anticipate this will carry you for 6 months, but then when everybody comes and everybody is buying 6 months, then, okay, the items that are used regularly, the chronic medication stuff, those run out.
Okay.
Interesting to know, there is an export ban on certain items. So because of the pandemic, certain countries, UK, USA, they've put in this ban, okay, this item we will not be sending to your country because we have to look out for our persons first.
Right.
So the citizens and the residents will need paracetamol, we can't send it to you. Vitamin C, zinc, some of these things. So you find you are jumping from pharmacy to pharmacy and not finding some of these items because there was a ban. And as well as there can be decreased production. With the lockdown, you find there are certain days, of course, you couldn't go out. So if persons are not able to go to work, there are certain items that could end up being short because the manufacturing plant would be short-staffed, so to speak.
Reduced hours, yeah.
Reduced hours.
Right.
Yeah, get into it.
It's all right, man.
All right, Lauren.
Yes.
So what do we do about these shortages is what we're here to.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
And you see, it's almost half past and we didn't even start yet.
Yes, that's good. The time is going.
Good.
Yes, there are some other factors from time to time that would affect. You know, sometimes you hear about drug recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drugs are recalled for various reasons, whether it is something, the way the drug is not performing well or some substance was found in it that is to be harmful or so. So there are times when there are drug recalls and then that drug is not available globally. And sometimes you have companies that merge. And when there's a merger and that shifting, or when there's a change in formulation and so on. So inevitably it will happen. Sometimes persons do not really pay attention, but then you become frantic when you have called 3, 4, 5 pharmacies, and then not to get in a panic. So one of the things to do, first of all, if there are medications that you take regularly, do not wait until you're down to your last day.
Right.
Because that reduces the time for us to source, or if that is an item that is not available for you to know. And then also, there are things that can happen when your drug is not available. Let's say, for example, you're taking a drug at a strength of 10 milligrams, and that becomes unavailable. There may be options, because there are some things that you could probably take 2 times 5 milligram or half of a 20 milligram.
Right.
So sometimes if a particular strength is not available, there is an alternative. Also, we could give another drug in the same class that would work for that, or there can be a change completely. So one of the very important things is just to be aware and not to panic.
And communicate with your doctor and your pharmacist.
Right. So that's the takeaway today. I mean, if you get nothing from the program, the fact is, yes, you will go to the pharmacy during this time and certain things will not be available. 1, okay, don't panic. Just, okay, how do we go from here? Depending on the situation, you can communicate with your doctor, your pharmacist. There are alternatives. Yeah, that's it. Boom.
And also don't wait until you run out to try and get replacements.
Right. And just another plug for persons with like respiratory illnesses, persons who use inhalers and so on. Try to always have an extra one, because these conditions sometimes do not give a warning, so, and check your dose to see how it's going down. So things like that. We also have some information to share as it relates to our Meridian group.
Yes, we're transitioning. So effective July 1, we thought we'd let the general public know Meridian consultants. So the doctor's office section will not be in Bastille office, will no longer be in the Bastille office. So it will all be Frigate Bay for the Meridian medical consultants part. The pharmacy will still be there. I am still there to help everybody. Looking forward to seeing all our customers and new ones. But there is a transition. We do have transportation, so persons don't have to, create a fit. If you don't have a vehicle,
you can go
you
downtown.
just call us, let us know. We arrange, we have transportation, we take you over. After your appointment, we bring you back to town.
So downtown will just be purely the pharmacy?
Pharmacy, and there will be a new doctor's office in the same location.
But the doctor will not be a part of the
Not Meridian Medical Consultants,
Okay.
no. But the Meridian Medical Pharmacy will still be there.
Okay.
So the pharmacy will still be there, but there'll be a new
group of
Yes.
a new MD.
Right.
And then the Meridian doctors will be housed in Frigate Bay only.
At Frigate Bay only.
Yes.
And that's in the Sugars Complex.
Sugars Complex.
Oh, brilliant. And for those of you who don't have transportation, and you have an appointment with Dr. Lawrence or whoever,
we have a
Dr.
Meridian
Holness, you can
Medical
go downtown
Yes.
to the old location.
That is correct.
By the pharmacy, and once you tell them in advance, then they'll
Right,
arrange
don't just show up. When you're making your appointment, then you say, okay,
just say when
I'm
you're
going
making
to
an
need
appointment,
trans.
you're going to need transfer
Right.
to Frigate Bay.
Yes.
And then you show up down there downtown, and they take it to Frigate Bay and back.
Yes, that's
Oh, lovely.
So remember, when you're making your appointments, if you don't have transportation, state it
We
when making
normally
your appointment.
ask too, but
Okay, there we go. But it doesn't hurt to state
it doesn't hurt to,
right?
right.
I love
We
it.
meet each other.
All right. Do you have anything else on your agenda to let the people know?
That's it.
That's
Have a
it for
wonderful
today.
We're so happy to leave.
She's ready to go.
All right, thank you very much, ladies.
Nika and Lorraine.
Nika and
pleasure.
Lorraine. All right, pleasure. We're going to pause for another very short song break and get back and jump right into our second segment. The first segment still? Thank you, Jade. The second part of our first segment.
Part 2.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security. When I young and I walk and me bust it up, I make sure he pay. So when I hold and I cold and I rest in me soul, me pension is there. If I sick or maybe you suffer a job injury, it's the same social security looking out for me. Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security. If you're self-employed, well, please take note that you're not left out. Go today, don't delay, please go pay to prevent knockout. Enjoy benefits, too good to be true, just cool your head. Those you love who love you will benefit long after you're dead. Well, I put up my hand cause you understand how happy I be. Social security, looking out for me. Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security.
Mommy, teacher says you need to buy the workbook so I can keep up in class.
Your teacher does pay me? Every time I turn around is another textbook, another shoe, something you need.
She says I won't pass if I don't get it.
You're not smart enough to pass anyway. You think you're going to be better than that good-for-nothing father of yours? You look like him, your foot shaped like him, and you're not bright, just like him.
Verbal abuse can be just as harmful as physical or sexual abuse. If you're having trouble coping, consider other options other than taking it out on your child.
Richie, look, Mommy's sorry she spoke to you like that. We'll find the money somehow.
This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UK Aid, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security. When I young and I walk and me bust it up, I make sure he pay. So when I hold and I call and I rest in me soul, me pension is there. If I sick or maybe I suffer a job injury, it's the same social security looking out for me. Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security. If you're self-employed, well, please take note that you're not left out. Go today, don't delay, please go pay to prevent knockout. Enjoy benefits, too good to be true, just cool your head. Those you love who love you will benefit long after you're dead. Well, I put up my hand cause you understand how happy I be. Social security, looking out for me. Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security.
Welcome back to the umpteenth episode of Island Tea. And we have just been joined by the lovely Cece.
The lovely what?
Cece, you tell me we're young.
We're young.
Yeah. From the Social Security Board.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she's here to speak to us about, I have no idea.
Well, let me first introduce myself for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, the youngins who may be joining now that you guys are here. My name is Camila Lawrence. I'm the Public Relations Manager at Social Security.
At that.
So we'll be talking about this week, and I don't want to talk to you guys. I want you guys to engage me in conversation. So we're going to ask me the questions, and I'll give you the best responses. The numbers to call in, 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989.
Look at that work, yeah?
This, I've been in here longer than you, more than you. So this is the last update, hopefully, on the COVID-19. Recently, we saw a piece of video that says that we are one of 8 countries that have triumphed over the COVID-19 virus. So let's hope it is that way. Slowly, we're seeing the economy starting to open its doors. Our borders are closed.
CLOTHES.
They're closed.
Close.
And so it means that the businesses will have an opportunity to soften up that economic downturn that we've been experiencing. And it's eye-opening, the impact of tourism in our small federation. I didn't realize the magnitude of the borders being closed and the effect of the US dollar. When last you see a US dollar, it means that the tourists are not here, the bars can't open as they should, the hairdressers can't get the money as they should. It's so impacting on every single area of our lives, the things that we took for granted, being able to take your facial monthly and take care of yourself and put on your lashes.
Was Splatnet Thursday night?
And vibes and all the things that we normally go and do and enjoy and take.
Seafood Mondays?
See? All of that gone through the door because we don't see no money like before. So we're going to do an update, but I would like for you guys to call in, ask your questions. I know some of you are grumbling and saying, we ain't seen my money yet. We are still working on it.
It's Camilla's fault.
No, it's not. Most definitely, it's not.
I don't know if you know, but on this show, we like to blame people for things.
No, nobody gonna blame me. No, it's not.
You should not come then.
I'll be here every month until. So, yes, this is the last update. Hopefully, we've started this from the stimulus package. $15 million from Social Security was allocated to support families who really do need this type of support, especially as the borders are closed and there's no US dollar and all of that. Luckily, on the flip side, we are COVID-free, so that's a good thing.
But the borders are still closed.
So it means...
I think you're pronouncing it wrong. Don't misquote the Prime Minister.
Closed.
It's closed.
Oh, yo.
Can we interest you in some tea? We
No.
have green tea infused with lemon and ginger.
I just had my tea before I came. So...
Yeah.
She finds to buy it. Do you know, in some countries, it's actually rude to reject an offer when you're in somebody's home.
Oh, sorry, I did not realize.
So you'll have some tea?
I'll have some tea.
But I have a couple of questions.
Sure, go right ahead.
Firstly, I believe, according to the last announcement made by the government, that this month is the last payment. I think it's June. Do you have any idea as to if that will continue or if this is really the last payment? So we're supposed to do next month.
Well, what was announced is that in the first 3 months, the allocation of $15 million would suffice. He did say, the Prime Minister did say that this allocation is in the first instance. So there is maybe the possibility for other stimulus programs, but as I said, things seem to be on the upside for some, so I'm not sure yet. No decision has been taken yet as to any further stimulus package in that regard from Social Security. So I must remind that it was a grant of $15 million, and so that was allocated for the period April to June.
Okay, brilliant. Also, on this show, we actually, sorry, I'm pouring some tea here. On this show, we actually promote entrepreneurship. We encourage young people to get involved in business, etc., to follow their dreams. Can you speak to us a bit about, because it's something that actually my father asked me last night in terms of employment, because I want to go into business, etc. And the whole issue of when you get older, as a self-employed person, how do you take care of yourself after you stop working? So can you just touch a bit, if you can?
Sure. I'm quite pleased that you asked this question. I remember when we were going to school, and not you guys, but I'm still young, our parents would tell us, go to school and learn your lessons so you could get a good job. We are now, your generation has been told, go to school and make your own wealth. Same thing I'm telling my son. Right. Go to school and create your own wealth so that you can control your own destiny, your own income and all of that. Second to that, and probably most important, is not just being self-employed, but understanding business in a way that Social Security is very important to young people. They tend to look at it. I like to say this, it's not a sexy topic. It's not the latest trending videos or Digicel with their stuff or anything that's trendy. But it's important. And it's important because you have to not only live for today, but to think about your future. Let's look at photographers. You may be able to take pictures now, use the hottest thing, but then something happens and that changes your course of life forever. And with the assurance of Social Security, you have that guarantee that every single month at the pensionable age, and a lot of people don't know this, a lot of young people don't know this, and not because there's a lack of information, but again, it's not your interest. So although the information is there, you're not paying attention to it. At age 62, you get your pension because we won't be young forever. We like to think it, and as long as we can feel it, we should. But there are those things that you need to put in place. So self-employed coverage is there for young people, and there is the flexibility. And especially during this COVID period, we saw a lot of self-employed persons either suffering
not because they didn't qualify,
because they did not register, or and because you can't just be self-employed and say I am self-employed.
Right, you have to
You
register.
may have your
a record of
business
that,
license, but you must register with Social Security and pay your contributions just as you would if you were an employee somewhere.
Right.
So we saw two things. We saw young persons coming up and saying, hey, I registered and I paid. So I am here for the support. And on the other side, we had to tell some, you really don't qualify. And we've seen persons in business 6-7 years and did not register.
Unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. It's sad. And, we take these little things for granted, but it's the little things, according to the Bible, that spoil the vine. You have to take care of those little things, and Social Security is a little big thing. It's important.
Very.
I know braiders who suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome, but they have the assurance of Social Security. We have painters. Now we're seeing musicians coming forward. We're seeing DJs. We're seeing business consultants. So it's not the traditional businesses that you would see a painter or a bus driver, but it's far encompassing. We're seeing a lot more of young people coming in, but the key is not to just register, to be consistent and to contribute. And self-employed is quite flexible because we understand how self-employed businesses are. In one season, you make a lot of money, and especially because we're tied to tourism.
Right.
In one season, you make a lot of money, and then the next season, it's slow. So what you can do is pay in advance. When things are green, you pay in advance. So when the period come about where things are not so flourishing, you have that coverage already. And it's 10% of what you would have paid had you been an employee, because you're your own employer and employee, whereas an employee pays 5% and the employer pays 5% to match that.
So you
the self-employed person pay 10%. Another downfall that they do, they sometimes register, but they pay out the lowest category. If you pay,
I was going to ask about that.
If you
pay low, you get low.
Exactly.
Right.
It's simple.
Simple maths.
Very well. So what we do, we try to encourage you to pay based on your earnings or closest to your earnings, so that you have the proper coverage when something happens to you, and to deal with your lifestyle. Why you do your face like that? Why you was calculating?
10% of a particular salary.
But it's not a lot. It's not a lot because, again, Social Security have contribution ceilings. You can't contribute on more than $6,500. So if you pay more than on that, self-employed people don't pay levy. But if you are an employee, the difference would go to government as a levy.
So if you're self-employed and you're paying yourself a wage of $4,000 a month, then your Social Security contribution would be $400 a month.
And less than that, because again, that's already over the ceiling.
What, 4,000?
4,000?
Yes, 65?
6,500, yes. So, but the maximum a self-employed, any person will pay for Social Security is $325, because it's 5%.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so you'll be somewhere in between there. And then we pay based on the number of Mondays in a month. So if there's 4 Mondays in a month, you'll pay the 400, not the 400, you'll pay
$325
to cover that period.
Okay.
It's quite simple, and next time we come back, we're going to talk some more about that. But let's talk a little bit more about the COVID thing. Persons who have had challenges in terms of not receiving any benefits so far. Well, it's not a benefit; it's a grant because you wouldn't have contributed to it. It's a grant from a pool of 15 million. So if you haven't received your contribution as yet, your grant as yet, give us a call at 465-2535 on St. Kitts or 469-5245 on Nevis. In the earlier part of the application process, in the first 2 weeks, somehow there was a technical glitch. And so emails received via the DOL COVID-19 at Gmail, which is the Labor Department, they were corrupted. So persons, if you knew you applied between the 4th to the 12th of April and you still haven't heard anything from the Labor Department, who's the first source of contact, give them a call, 662-2075. They'll be able to sort you out. This was a magnanimous task, if that's the word. Very huge.
We actually make up words on this show.
Really?
So we just make up words.
For the number to call, 662-2075. That's the Labor Department. What we do during the process, this is how you know that we received your form. A call will be made, not just the acknowledgement via an automated reply, but they call you to ensure that your banking information is correct and for us to verify the information so we know for sure, or you know for sure, that we have in fact received your application. So if you haven't had a call and you haven't heard anything at all from us, it makes no sense to abuse us on Facebook or say negative or whatever. Just come in and let's yes, and make sure that we do have your information. So the Labor Department is your first source of contact. Then the information comes through to Social Security for processing, and processing requires some investigation because, with money, people will try things. So the compliance team, along with the Labor Department, will go out and investigate to ensure that you are, in fact, employed, because we would have seen some new businesses that occurred in March. Just on the brink of this. So you would see things. So the inspectors would do some time out in the field to ensure that this person is in fact eligible for the grant. Then it goes to accounts for processing. And you could imagine that's a huge task.
Thousands of people.
Thousands. Over 6,000 applications were received via the Labor Department. That does not include the self-employed. So, but slowly, we're seeing that the economy is opening up much, and especially for the payment for June, there's going to be a longer delay because more businesses have opened. And if you've resumed employment, you're no longer eligible for the $1,000 grant. So there's persons, yes, still without payment for April and May. Give us a chance. If you have not heard anything from us, it's time to call. 3 months waiting is a long, long time.
Yes.
After all, you're in kind of baby. So if you've been waiting for that period, give us a call. It's not intentional. We're not picking out names. We're not dropping out names. But you could imagine the task. During the lockdown, we didn't have a lockdown. We had to work. And we worked long hours. We had a hotline there that was just going off and off and off and off. So give us a chance. In addition to this type of work, we're doing our usual work. People are still sick. People are still making claims for age pension and all the other things. So you could imagine how we are stretched. We even got additional, people have asked, have you hired additional resources? Yes, we've had additional help to deal with this new task, and we're doing the best that we could. I'm quite surprised we don't have any calls this morning, so maybe that's a good thing. I'm alleviating those questions or persons who want to abuse but understand what we're dealing with.
You mentioned earlier, if businesses resume, you will not be able to get the grant. Touch a little bit more. Expand on it, because I feel like I'm going over a lot of people's heads and you're going to get views.
Okay, very good. If you've resumed employment, and that was said very early, you're no longer eligible for the grant, provided that you are receiving at least $1,000 from your employer. So if you resume employment, but you're still just getting a $200, you will be eligible for 800.
Okay.
To top you up to the 1,000. The idea is to ensure that no household, that anybody who's working, is without at least $1,000 to maintain them during the period.
Okay.
So if you have resumed employment or inspectors are out in the field, they'll be contacting your employers. The Labor Department also have some field officers out doing that type of work as well. I want to take the opportunity to commend the entire team, the entire staff, both at the Labor Departments on St. Kitts and Nevis and Social Security, for going beyond the call of duty, working those tireless hours, ensuring that persons do in fact have something. It's a very difficult time. I myself, even though, and you know, I still have my full employment. I still get my full wage. And I myself have seen the impact of this. Sometimes you're home with your thoughts and you didn't even realize you have these types of feelings.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, no, I'm strong, Cam. I know how to feel. Why am I feeling this anxious? Like, what's next? So I could imagine, to add not having a source of income to these feelings, how people are coping. Children and all are suffering in silence, or some are acting out because they're home and we're not going through our normal course of life. They're not out playing. My son, and I'm going to give a personal experience, my son, we were doing the online thing and he just started to cry. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I can't do this. I miss, and he's a child, he don't like school.
He likes school now, though.
But he's like, I miss seeing my teachers and my friends. I'm tired of seeing just you and daddy and grandma.
He feels disconnected.
He feels disconnected. So imagine children feel that way. How big people coping with having to pay the mortgage, having to pay the rent, having to just live and have to be pushed into a box and told to just wait. And that's what we're asking you to, as hard as it is, to just be patient with us. We are working and we'll be making those payments up to June 30th if you have not bring in your forms. Because imagine up to yesterday, people just walking in the door, all from work since March, and just coming to us. So
are those payments backdated?
Yes.
Okay. But as long as they're in
Yes. Once you would have suffered the loss of your income during that period between April to June, and you've provided the proof being your layoff letter and your completed application form, you're in the door. Outside of June 30th, you were making it along. So,
right. Take it easy.
Not that we want to disenfranchise anybody, but there is a period that we have to bring it to a close.
Of course.
So you mentioned that the June payment might be a little bit late because of the due diligence that has to occur. How late are we talking?
Well, I won't be able to put a date on it and say how late, but I'm thinking some maybe early July, mid-July for the June payment. But we are working on those, especially who have up to now not seen a payment for one reason or the other. And sometimes, as I said, those of you who would not have received the payment, something may have gone wrong in that early part.
So check.
So please check. Some applications, you would have filled it out properly, but when it got to us, it was totally blank. So
that happened to me. Well, it wasn't blank, but there was some misinformation.
Good.
Like and they sent the information to the bank with my middle name as my first name, and with a savings account as opposed to checking.
Oh.
So the bank sent it back like this don't add up.
Yes. And the banks have been, I don't want to leave at all either without thanking the bank for their patience and understanding, because given the magnitude of the work, and we are humans, numbers will be transposed, names will be mixed up and stuff like that. And another major problem that we saw is people don't know their banking information.
Of course.
People giving us the number of the card.
Oh, really?
Yes. A lot of that. Some monies were returned. Monies went to people's accounts that shouldn't have gone. Yes, because they gave us somebody else's account. And the bank is just pressing a button with this new EFT thing. And they were really helping in the first times, but after we come in with 7,000 names and so on, it's difficult for them to manage the process, just like how it's difficult for us. So monies would have gone to different places because persons don't know their account
and plus
information.
They're doing their regular work too. Every day the banks are open.
Yes, they still have their regular work to do. We would have seen persons sending money, Amali is here, but Kevin sending his money to Amali account because he don't know his account number or don't have an account. You cannot do that. You cannot send monies to a U.S. account either. So we had those lots of little things in there that would have held back some persons.
Yeah, of
so now
course.
we have to call them in and write a check, administer a check, so we don't have the same occurrence happening. But throughout it, we at Social Security, we are happy to have had the opportunity to impact lives in this way. We have a corporate responsibility to ensure that our economy don't fold. And that's something that we should be proud of, but there are challenges, and we accept it, and we apologize to anyone who feel that we intentionally or deliberately did something to hurt them.
Yeah, I think what happens is a lot of people, and like you mentioned earlier, we got a lot of time to think, and people are forgetting that Social Security is still operating, but the workload gone times 10.
Yes.
So even though they're still doing a regular workload, there's extra, a massive amount of extra.
Yes.
So, they're sitting at home and they're like, me ain't give me money yet. Social Security playing with me.
Yes.
I want us to practice humanizing organizations as well, because y'all are there doing y'all best. Y'all are trying to ensure that everybody could buy the groceries next week. But at the same time,
see again, goosebumps, because you're telling the truth.
But that's I know how it is. I worked in a bank for a while, and I remember
people ain't care when they want the things.
That's what I mean.
And
people don't care, but they're saying sensitive things. They're doing sensitive things, and it sucks being on the receiving end, because you want to help. You're ready to help, and you're trying your best, but there's so much steps before you could even get to the helping.
I remember a lady called in and she was so angry, and I had to tell her, you know what? Let's take a minute. And me on the phone telling the woman, "Woosa." Calm it down and let me understand what you're trying to say and how you're feeling. Because you come into me irate, I'm only human.
And you don't even know what
and
it
I
is
don't
you're
know
upset
what
about.
yes, and then in the end, poor lady, write the wrong number. But she was angry at me or at us. You understand?
At the process, yeah.
At the process. In the end, we were able to sort it out, and she was so happy. And now she just called and tell me she praying for me, and I appreciate. Yeah.
So, question, just to give people a sense, because the people who have had positive experiences, and this is how life goes. You would have 100 people who had a good experience, and one person had a bad experience, and that one person got the biggest mouth.
Yes.
And makes the organization look like it's not doing any work. So if you can actually relate to the people, of the 6,000 plus applications you've received, how many have been processed so far? So that people can get the sense that work is actually being done, and we're actually making an impact.
Very good question. Of the 6,000, at least 5,000 applicants have already had their first payment. And then we even saw in May, because the economy started opening, that number was smaller for the May payment as well, because some people went back to work. And so we expect that we're going to get through this very shortly and see how very fast we could get back to normal life. Because we're boastful that we're COVID-free, and let us encourage each other to practice as much as we can those are the things that make the huge difference. Washing your hand, I think people forgetting washing their hand very often again, sanitizing your space, and practice the social distancing if you can. And I think that's my time for today.
Hello, that's not your job, please.
And
I think that's our time.
You can't tell
She come in
what to
here
do.
first and tell us that she been on the air longer than us,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she want to comment there. We should.
So Cam, thank you very much for joining us. It was very informative, very emotional at one point, and we do appreciate the good work that the folks at Labour Department, at our various banking institutions, and of course the Social Security Board for the hard work they've been doing to try and maintain livelihood and livity.
Yeah, that's important.
In St. Kitts and Nevis. So folks, work is being done. They are making progress. Like I mentioned, mistakes are made on both ends.
Yes.
Right. I'm one of those who was a victim of a simple clerical error. But like she said, I just made a phone call and they were able to dig into the matter. I spoke to somebody. They said, Amali will investigate. And she called back and said, wait, dear, we got your first name wrong. So what is the actual first name? And I gave them the first name, and within 48 hours, I had my payment. So folks, they are doing good work. As you've already heard, they've already had a over 80% success rate in terms of issuing payments, and that is really high, considering the fact that they weren't prepared for it. Nobody knew COVID-19 was coming, and they have stepped up to the plate and done the best they can to ensure that people have food on the table. So we want to thank you very much for joining us.
And like you said, if you have not received payment and you've been waiting for a while, just call. It don't make sense to post and views to your friends.
Yeah.
Call, because the error might be yours, the error might be theirs. There's only one way to find out.
People will say, "Oh, that's calling," but then answer the phone. They're receiving 400 phone calls every 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you work there. It's like
Lots of
that.
calls. Just keep trying.
Yeah. I had to call. May sound kind of bad, but I had to call like 6 and 7 times before I actually got through. So folks, don't just call twice and nobody answer the phone and you're going to Facebook and abuse. Keep calling. We have there's 2 sides to every story. We have to understand what they're going through as well. 6,000 applications, and our phone still outstanding, from what I understand, that they're still trying to maneuver and to correct. So imagine it's you and 1,000 other people calling every day at the same time.
Plus the usual routine work.
Serve. So just keep consistent, keep calling. It's your livelihood. It's for your benefit. They're trying their best. If you call 10 times and they don't answer, call 11 times.
And guess what? If the calling ain't working for you and you really can't take it no more, put on your shoes and go.
It's true.
That
sounds good. That sounds good. And the number to call for the Labor Department, 662-2075. Social Security, 465-2535 or 469-5245. Until next time, everybody, remember to pay your contributions in full and on time. And you self-employed people, stay consistent. Regularly contribute in order to benefit. Have a great day, everyone.
And we'll, as him lock off, they made them one time, man, and we'll part. You see? Cam got as him feeling like she in charge of the show now. She says, "See you next time," man, as him will lock off everything. So now we'll pause for a quick break. And we'll be right back with our second segment.
Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security. When I young and I walk and me bust it up, I make sure he pay. So when I hold and I call and I rest in me soul, me pension is there. If I sick or maybe I suffer, I drop injury. It's the same social security looking out for me. Social security. Social security. Social security. Social security. If you're self-employed, well, please take note that you're not left out.
Why she always beating that boy so? Every afternoon she comes home, she in his skin with that belt. I wonder if I should call the police. It isn't my business, but I'm afraid one day she will take it too far. It's like the beatings are getting worse. Let me mind my business, see? Family affairs should stay behind closed doors.
Don't ignore the cries of a child. Find out what's going on. If you're concerned about how a child is being treated, contact the relevant authorities to see how we can help.
Hello? Every day I hear my neighbor beating her little boy. He's over there screaming again. What should I do?
Protecting our children is everybody's business. You can save a life by making one call.
This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UKAID, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Make your house a dream home with a Horseman's Reno loan. Yes, come to Horseman's today and ask about our home renovation loans of up to $35,000 unsecured. Yes, home renovation loans for as much as $35,000 unsecured over 4 years plus no money down. Yes, you pay zero money down on your loan, up to $35,000 home reno loan at Horseman. So come, let's make your house a dream home with a zero down payment Horseman's Reno loan today. See store for details. Terms and conditions apply.
So who you left the kids with tonight?
Nobody. They're big enough to take care of themselves.
Girl, you mad? Junior only 7 years old. And suppose something happened to the baby while you're out here?
My mother was leaving me home by myself since I'm 5. He can handle it. Nothing gonna happen.
This don't feel right. Call and check on them.
Look, I work hard all week. I deserve this break. Besides, they're good. Hello?
Leaving underage children at home by themselves is child neglect. Need support? See if another family member or a trusted neighbor can help. This message brought to you by UNICEF, UK Aid, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
All right. Welcome back to the umpteenth episode of Island Tea with your favorites or faves, Kevon and Amali. And we have in the studio with us a graceful young lady by the name of Michelle. And Miss Michelle, sorry.
Yes, Miss Michelle.
Miss Michelle. And she has natural, beautiful hair, which we all are digging in the studio right now.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
And
she
moves.
is here. And it moves. It's bouncy. It's moist. It's fabulous. And I love this smile as well. Oh my gosh. But Michelle is actually
just full
here.
of compliments, isn't he?
I know. When I see the kinks, I get excited.
Oh, that's good.
And she is here representing the Ross University Preparatory School.
Yes.
And she is the principal of this institution.
Yes, I am.
And she is here to talk to us about, the school in general and what the school offers to the general public.
Yes.
Of St. Kitts and Nevis. So, Michelle, do you want to jump? Miss Michelle, sorry, she's a teacher.
Miss Michelle.
Do you want to jump right into it?
Thank you, Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, hi everyone. Hope everyone is doing well today. I'm Michelle Phillip Mitchell, the principal at Ross Preparatory, Ross Prep for short. And I just wanted to come on and just say hello to the public and let them know about our school. We know that a lot of times people are either not aware that Ross Prep is there, or they think it's not an option for them on island. And so I just want to make sure that persons know that Ross Prep is an option, a very good option at that. And so, they are more than willing and, to call to find out more about us and when we reopen our doors, they can get a physical tour, but they can also get a virtual tour.
Okay, brilliant.
Yes.
And how long has this school been open?
In existence?
St. Kitts, yeah.
So it's actually been open almost about 20 years, if you'd believe.
Wow.
It started out just as a school for the colleagues of Ross Prep. And so there wasn't an actual building. They met we're on the university campus, but they met in a classroom at the university.
Right.
But in 2009, we've built our school building, and we have been going strong ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been open to the public for a number of years now.
Okay.
We're open to the public for quite a number of years. We've had a number of locals come through our school.
Yeah.
And so we just want to get that word out, to more persons, because every time someone calls or every time I meet someone and they ask me where I work and I'm like, Ross Prep, and they're like, oh, in the vet program? And I'm like, no, the prep school. They're like, oh, there's a school on Ross campus? And I'm like, yes, there's a school, a very good school on Ross campus. So yes.
Okay, is the school run as a separate entity, or is it like a department of Ross?
Well, it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
So, I, as the principal, I have the final say on whatever goes on there. I have the say. It's run as a school, but overall, in the whole corporation, it is a part of the corporation, and that's a good thing for our students, because our USVM provides a lot of support to our school. And so, we have access to the labs, we have access to the professors on campus. We are treated just as anything else on campus. So security, 24-hour security, ID badges, everything that would happen on the vet campus happens at our campus as well. So it's the good thing to be a part of that.
I love the security fact too.
Yes.
I think we underestimate the value of having security for children.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm guessing that helps with random people trying to pick up kids.
We don't have random people.
Right. So
we don't have random people.
Because they have security. So why, you listed a bunch of perks to being a part of the Ross Prep School.
Yes.
Why should a parent consider sending their child over to the prep school beyond the labs and the security and stuff?
Okay. So depending, and I don't know if either one of you are parents, so, depending, certain parents want different things. So I'm going to give you an overall view of basically, I think, what we offer, and that meets almost anyone's, requirements. The first thing that we have is a secure campus. For parents, security is paramount. They want to feel, when you drop your child off, you want to feel that your child is safe. And so safe being secure that nothing is going to happen to your child. And with that, we have our security. When you enter Ross campus, you cannot enter unless you have a badge. And so that's scanned and that's issued through the school just to the parents. And so they have to have that badge to enter. And then to enter into our school even further, then you have to be buzzed in. You can't
just open the door
and walk in. And so you have to be buzzed in, and we have constant security monitoring our campus. So that's the security factor. And then also we are our teachers, our staff monitor our children for the entire time that they're there. So they're not left alone to just go to recess on their own or go to lunch on their own. They are monitored from the entire time. And actually, we open at 7:30. So our hours are also a great factor. Parents can drop children off from 7:30, and they are there until they can be there until 5, and all of that is included in our tuition. So there's no additional parents don't have to worry about it or think about it, and parents who may get off at 4 may, they may need that time to be able to come and get their children. And so we take all of that into consideration because we know working parent is, it's hard, and you want to feel secure when you leave your child and also not be stressed as, okay, what's going to happen to my child? Is he outside or the school building or anything like that? And so we have the security, we have those hours. We also have great curriculum, great teachers. I stand behind my teachers and my curriculum. It is so important that academics are given the importance of what it really needs to be in the school. And so we give academic high importance. And so for any parent who, and when I say academics, it doesn't mean that everyone who comes in, they have to be a scholar. But what is important is that wherever you are, we meet you where you are. So if you are a child that's struggling, we have small classes, which is another factor, and that's a good thing. And so our teachers are really able to personalize those lessons towards that child. And so within that classroom, you may find that there are 3 or 4 different levels going on, and our teachers are able to focus and give them what they need. Our teachers are also very available, and they stay after school, on a lot of days. It's not just leaving at the end of the day. They stay after school if they need to. We also have a homework club, which starts at between 3 and 4. So there, again, once they get through the school day, they are mandated, if they're going to be on campus, if they're going to be with the school, to go to homework club. That way, when they get home, parents really just have to go over their homework and make sure that the assignments were done. But they've done their homework with a teacher in that homework club time, and we have a teacher assigned to them, actually 3 different teachers assigned to the different grade levels, assigned to them every single day, Monday through Friday, from between the hours of 3 and 4 o'clock. And so those are great reasons. Do you want me to go into more? Because I have a lot.
Well, love it. Someone on the live asked, what school is this? Because they're just tuning in.
Okay. It's Ross Preparatory School, located on the campus of the Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine.
Great. So you mentioned, everything is sort of locked down and not happening. What precautions will Ross Prep be putting in place when schools are allowed to reopen?
Okay. So we've been working on that plan actually from the time that we started getting aware of the COVID, so back in March, early March. As a school, I saw this and I saw what was coming, and so we started preparing even then. Before, government and shut everything down, we started preparing as a school. And so we began with, having everyone sanitizing all the time, and we went through that. And when the lockdown did come, we were actually more prepared because I also had my staff start doing the online training for the platform that we possibly might use. We like to be prepared. If we didn't need it, then great. But if we needed it, we want to be prepared for it. And so my staff had the online training for the platform that we might use, and they did that for about 2 days. And then our students did that as well, just to get familiar with the online platforms. They are familiar with the computers and how to use them, because another great thing of our program is that each child get their own device. From pre-K on to 8th grade.
And is this a device they can take home, or it stays?
So it can't. So it's a tablet. So for the younger ones, we don't really let them take it home, the tablets, because they don't really need it. But from 3 through 8th grade, if parents sign that they would like for children to be able to take it home and they sign for that responsibility, then yes, they can take it home. And they can, because sometimes in our older kids take theirs home because they may need to complete homework or do research or anything like that. And so the younger kids, they have their tablet. The older kids has, right now we have MacBook Airs. They have their computers. And so, it's seamless. We do blended learning, which is some online and always with the teacher. But it's really helped us when the COVID hit, because it was something that a lot of our kids were able to just seamlessly move into. We didn't miss a day of school. We did not miss not one day of school for it. Our kids did really great. Moving online, our teachers, they were really prepared for moving to online learning, all of this. And so now that we are at this standstill, what we're doing to prepare for the reopening of school is that we're first and foremost making sure that our parents, sending out communication, making sure that our parents will understand what is to come when school reopens. And then as a school, we are making sure we have our signage in. We're making sure we are definitely promoting hand washing, hand sanitizing. Our students, when they come back, they will be, with the facial covering. We will have staggered lunches. Drop-offs and pickups will be a little bit different. Parents will be asked to, at that time, for now, stay in their vehicle, and the child will exit. Someone will sanitize them upon entering. They will go to their classroom. We usually have assembly at 8 o'clock in the morning where the whole school gets together, and we learn something fun for that day. But students will go to their classrooms, and then they will stay with their group of students, which they normally do anyway. So it wouldn't really be anything that's different for them. And so they stay with their group of kids, and then our lunch times, our break times are staggered. So certain groups will go out at certain times. And again, that's sort of normal for us. We do that really because it just works better with children to be able to do that. We're also putting in place, our isolation room. We have our isolation room where if someone does get sick, we don't know what the sickness is. Other than a sick room, we have our isolation room where campus, if it's something we don't know, then, campus health, they will come down, they will investigate, and depending what it is, then we go from there. We let the parents know this is what's going on. We also will have infrared scan and, visual and infrared scanning for children and temperatures. And just we really enforcing our health and hygiene practices and our sick policies. So those are just a few of the things that we are putting in place to combat the spread of COVID.
I love it. I love education.
So do I.
I'm hearing a lot of good things that I like. But
a sip of my tea.
Take a sip with the pinky. We have a few more minutes left.
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about how parents can sign up, or if they want to seek more information, how do they go about doing that?
Okay. So I think right now probably the best way, if they want to sign up or if they want more information, they can email me, and it's mphillips@rossvet.edu.kn. Or they can call. I'm open to phone calls, and that's 869-764-5160, and my name is Michelle. And they can get more information, and from there I can guide them. We're also having 2 webinars in July. We're having 2 webinars that persons can sign up for to attend to even learn more about the school, just in case they may have missed this or anything else. And that one is on July 7th from 7 to 8 and July 28th from 6 to 7. We'll try to give different times to catch the parents because we know parents are working hard, and so try to make it convenient for them.
Right.
Yeah. So they can do that, and then either myself or my assistant, Sam, will get back to them and will lead them through the process of, registering.
Love it.
We also, this year, are offering scholarships.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us more.
So we have, I think that will be of great interest. We have 4 different scholarships. We have 3 scholarships for a reduced rate, so it's a reduced rate scholarship, and so those 3. So we have 3 spots. We're offering 3 spots of a reduced rate scholarship, and that's a reduced rate on our tuition. And then we have 1 full ride scholarship where it's open to any local national, and if they want to apply, they will get their entire education at Ross. If they start in K through 3, they will get their entire education, including uniform, and we always include books for that child, for that selected child, and that is from K through 8th grade. They will not have to pay anything for that tuition.
That's amazing. You mentioned just now that books are included.
Yes.
So parents enrolling their kids do not have to worry about books.
Right. So in our tuition, it includes our extended hours from 7:30 to 5. And if we do the numbers, when parents have to do after school care, that adds up to a lot. It also includes their device that's theirs for the life that they're there. It includes our books, all the books that they will need. They don't have to purchase those books. We purchase those books and, they have those. It's just the security again. Parents don't really have to then come out additionally for anything other than their uniforms. And we have those at the school as well, so they don't have to go and look for them. It includes everything, basically, that a child would need to get their education.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Is there anything else you'd love to say, plug before we...
I don't want to plug. I just want persons to know that, our community at Ross Prep is one of the most diverse communities that you will ever be a part of. We have a global community, and it enriches your life so well because you get exposed to things that you probably wouldn't otherwise be exposed to. We've had Russian students, Chinese students. We've had Eastern European, all across the world. And it brings a richness to every child that's there because they learn diversity. They learn how to get along. They learn respect. That's really important for us here. Being respectful to anyone, that's just what we do. Building responsibility in our children. We have, in our mission statement, we have 3 goals. First, we want our children to develop a lifelong love of learning. And so that no matter where they go, even after they leave academic school, that they still want to continue learning because that's important. In order for you to grow, you need to keep learning. And so having that love of learning beyond school is really important. And so we want to nurture and foster that in our kids. We also want them to be academically successful. Like I said earlier, wherever that child is, we meet them there and we get them to the next and to the next. And it doesn't mean that everyone will always be on the same level, but it means that everyone is growing. And that's important to education. You want to be able to grow and learn more. And once children see that, they themselves internally take that and want to become successful. And that's what, we want. And then to be a global citizen, we no longer live in just a bubble in St. Kitts, right? And so children are going to matriculate out into the U.S., to Canada, to other parts of the world. And we want them to be able to be that global citizen so that wherever they go, they will know that... frog in the throat. They will know what is expected and what's right for no matter where they are. And we see that sometimes, if children are just secluded to one set, they don't really get to know how to interact with other people. And we find that's really important and really beneficial for our students, that they are able to interact with a vast number of cultures. Yeah. And so, I think Ross Prep is a great option for anyone on island.
It definitely seems so.
Yes.
Well, we would love to, of course, take a moment to thank you for coming and giving us a massive plate of...
I know it's a lot of information.
It's a lot, but the information is so valuable.
I'm talking to people here and they had no idea.
Right. A lot of us didn't.
So I was trying to explain to them, locals can send the kids to the school. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But we want to thank you for coming. And
thank you for having me.
We hope you, in the near future, would return and give us some more updates.
Oh, definitely. I'll invite you guys. You guys are invited to our Christmas program. We do one every year where all the kids, all the different grade levels put on something every year. Yeah, we do a lot of things with our kids actually. We do a Christmas program. We do a Halloween trunk or treat where the whole campus gets involved in the university campus. They come out and they support our kids, and that's another thing. We have a great university campus. I mean, the students, the professors, everyone is supportive of the children at the prep school. Everyone, it's just like that's everyone's kids, and so everyone is supportive of them, and that you can't ask for more than that. You not only have your teachers and your parents, but you also have a whole other community that's just there behind you,
To support,
wanting to see you get ahead. You know, and so that's really important for us.
Brilliant. Well, Teach.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
When after the school term opens, you can come back on the show and market the school some more.
Oh, no problem.
Actually, right before it opens, so you can let people know in advance.
Yeah.
That you're reopening, and hopefully you get some more registration.
Yeah, and we ask persons to try and register before July 29th. That way we are prepared with our numbers. So we are appropriate, and I like to know ahead of time. I like to be prepared.
Of course, because the classroom size is very important.
Yes,
right?
yes, we keep our classroom sizes because the education, when you have a large classroom, sometimes it's harder.
You miss people, yeah.
Yeah, and so we don't want to miss anyone. We are not missing any of our children.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll pause for another very short break and then get back to our umpteenth episode of Island Tea.
You've forgotten the number?
We stopped counting.
We stopped counting, yeah, because I used to always call the wrong number.
Yeah, umpteenth plus one.
Yeah, umpteenth plus one. We taking that.
I love it.
Umpteenth plus one.
I love it. So we'll pause for a quick break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
All right.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
The Dreamy Group invites you to become a Dreamily Vowed customer with goods and services provided by our Dreamy team. We specialize in event planning and design, event rental, floral design, and balloon art. We cater to all your event needs. So, whether it's a wedding, birthday party, grand opening, dinner, anniversary, stage design, or any event worth celebrating, call us 466-9418 or 766-9189 for all your decoration needs. Visit us at the Koi Building, Airport Road for your garment baskets, fruit and flower baskets, bath and body baskets, floral arrangement, wreaths, centerpieces, and floral gifts to fit any occasion. Call 466-9418 or 766-9189.
Richie, what is that sound?
It's my new smartphone, Mommy.
Who you thief it from? You see me got any fancy phone?
I didn't thief it. Mr. Adams gave it to me for helping him around the house.
Take it back. In fact, give it to me. What kind of man give a child such an expensive cell phone?
No, Mommy, I want to keep it. He said it was mine because I come over every day after school.
How long since you're doing that? I hope he's not messing with you. Give me the phone. Now.
Have your children been coming home with expensive gifts or spending money you didn't give to them? Ask them about it. Many abusers soften up their victims by giving them things they've always wanted or that their parents can't afford. This is grooming. Remember, sexual abuse does not start in a vacuum. This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UKAID, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta, drink the real Fruta, your favorite Fruta, the natural taste is Fruta. Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Kimani, go play in the waiting room while I talk to Mom.
Doctor, since his big brother's friends started coming to the house, he's not the same. And I found sweets in his room that he said Ricardo gave him because he let him take his picture.
I see. Could be why you didn't want me to examine him. Sounds like sexual abuse.
We'll need your help to deal with this.
I know, but it's so much hassle with the police and the courts.
1 in 5 boys and 1 in 3 girls under 18 is sexually abused in the Caribbean. Medical professionals should report all suspected cases. The authorities will investigate. Just report. It's easy and confidential.
Break the silence. Child abuse is one secret you should never keep.
A message from UNICEF, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, pass the brother colors in my life. fresh and nice. And I drink that what we like, but stand full of vibes. Living for the color, and I'm black and white. We do what we like, we live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Master put the colors in my life. Searching for someone who can share that special love with me. And your eyes have that glow. Could it be your face I see on my computer screen? I need a special girl to share with my computer world.
Welcome back to Island Tea with Kevin and Amali, and we are now joined by Quinn Martin.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
Doing good.
Wonderful.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, yes, my name is Quinn Martin, like you said. I am a financial advisor at Sagicor Life, located on Central Street in Bastia. And as a financial advisor, I assess people's need for life and medical insurance. I look at their personal and financial situations, and I craft policies to suit their needs.
Great. Now, a big question is, young people they seem to be very apprehensive about insurance. Well, life, health insurance.
Sure.
Do you have any idea as to why that might be?
Absolutely. I think the first thing...
Will you make closer to your mouth?
Sure.
Sorry. Yeah.
No problem. Yes, but I think the first thing is that many persons rely on getting information from friends, from family members, even sometimes from persons who they don't even know. And oftentimes that information is misleading, it is wrong, and it gives them a negative perception, a negative outlook on insurance, when really they should be coming to the insurance advisor to get the right information, the ins and outs of the policies, and how they can fully utilize these plans to their advantage. That's the first thing. And the other thing I have identified is that the very nature of life insurance specifically makes the policyholder, or the individual rather, who will be receiving a payout, whether it's the policyholder or the beneficiary, apprehensive about sharing the immense benefits that they would have derived from these policies, which means that oftentimes you would end up inevitably hearing more bad than good. Because if somebody receives $500,000, let's say from an insurance company, they're not going on the street to broadcast that. They're not going to tell somebody that they received $250,000 for obvious safety reasons.
Right.
But if there is something that they feel that they did not receive, persons are more likely to share that information.
We just spoke about that.
So, yes.
You hear the bad, not the good.
You see. So really, it's the nature of the industry. It's almost a paradox. But as advisors, we are tasked with the duty of spreading the good about the policies, and we hope that that resonates with the general public.
Great. You, at what age do you recommend people start investing in a policy?
From the bond?
You're right. I would say from their bond, obviously that person would not be working as yet, so they would have to rely on their parents to facilitate that for them. But as early as possible. The reason for that is when persons are young, generally speaking, they are in better health than when they are older. And insurance is based upon one's age and one's health. So you want to take advantage of these opportunities as early as possible, because waiting means that you're putting yourself at risk of your health situation possibly changing, which could then bar you from getting a policy when you are ready to move to get that. So you want to make that step as early as possible.
I think a lot of people wait until they get ill, they start to go over the hill to
Yes.
start looking into policies. And like you said, that's when the barring starts happening.
That's the thing.
Don't
So
wait.
Don't wait.
Don't
at
wait
all.
until you see a need to have one.
Absolutely. And if you would permit me, I would give you an example of a situation like that. I dealt with someone that already had the land. They already purchased the land, spent money over years ensuring that they paid off for the land. They did not have the insurance as yet when they were ready to build to secure the mortgage. And that person chose to wait to make the investment in life insurance to secure the mortgage. Shortly after the land was purchased, was finished being paid off, that person incurred a serious injury, which then barred them from getting the life insurance to build on the land that they already spent time paying off.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, when you have the opportunity to make these investments, to put things in place, you should make that step, because you simply don't know what could transpire years down the road.
Great. That's a very good example, because,
Absolutely.
like you said, we hear the bad, not the good.
Yes.
You have a question?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. When people think insurance, they often think of it as, another expense, another bill, something that, isn't necessary because, we're young and, we ain't dead yet, that kind of mentality. And I'm guilty of that as well, until I actually sat down with I think it was Marvin from Sagicor, and he actually broke it down to me. And actually showed me, illustrated how affordable insurance can be, whether it's an endowment or an insurance policy, health, life, dental, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So perhaps you can just jump into that a little bit to basically expound, elaborate on how affordable insurance, the various types of insurance can be for us as, people who just starting to work, that kind of stuff, and the benefits of that.
Absolutely. Well, what I would start by saying is that insurance comes down to perspective. And like you touched on, sometimes persons view insurance as an expense, as an added bill. But if you view insurance in the right way, as an opportunity, an investment, something that will allow you to get ahead in life financially, to protect your loved ones, your children, then you won't view it as an expense. You would see it again as an opportunity. So the perspective has to be right, and again, it is the task of an insurance advisor to outline that, as Marvin would have done, and show persons how they can truly take advantage of these plans in order to protect their families and to protect themselves financially. In my experience, most persons who have come to see me leave saying, I did not know that it was so cheap. I did not know that it was so affordable. Why didn't I do it before? If I had done this 10 years before, I would have been here. I would have had this amount of money. That is the reason why persons should come to the source, the persons who can provide you with the information instead of taking that information from someone who might have good intentions, but who might not be leading you in the right way. So again, it comes down to perspective, and it also comes down to you getting the information from the qualified person who can properly educate you and show you how you can make wise financial investments.
Great. So insurance is an investment.
Yes.
I think a lot of us think, why spend money on an insurance policy when I could just save? I want you to put a spotlight on that, because you can do both.
Absolutely. Well, you just used the word, why spend money. In insurance, I don't think that you're spending money, you're investing money. Two different things. So again, it comes down to perspective. But why invest in an insurance policy as opposed to traditional banking? We have to look at both of them holistically. And there is nothing at all wrong with banking in the traditional way. But when you put, let's say, $200 in an insurance policy, let's say an endowment plan, what you are doing is you are saving toward the future while you are protecting your beneficiary. You are protecting your loved ones, your children, your family members. God forbid, if you should pass away, even one day after your policy would have been approved, your beneficiary would be set to gain the full coverage of your policy. In traditional banking, if I put $200 in my bank account and God forbid I passed away a day after, there's only $200 there for my beneficiary. So you see, with the insurance, the value of your money is enhanced immediately. That is the difference when we speak about saving and comparing insurance as opposed to traditional banking. The protection aspect of it, what it is going to do for your family member if you don't see tomorrow. And that is an aspect of investing that persons often either overlook or leave out. So again, this is an opportunity for individuals to really come and get the information so that you can gain a full, comprehensive perspective on the policies and how you can not only invest in insurance, but how you can also utilize traditional banking to fulfill different needs.
Great. COVID. I know we all hate to talk about it because it's been around.
We have to.
But we have to. How has COVID affected the insurance world?
Believe it or not, I think that COVID has brought about the awareness that insurance is necessary. You know, we go about our everyday lives and sometimes we just don't think that the worst can happen. We're living, safe lives and we don't get ourselves into trouble. But then here it is, a pandemic just comes out of nowhere. Over 400,000 people, I think, worldwide have passed away thus far. Over 100,000 people in the United States. We hear about a second wave coming soon. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to wait for the second wave to come and potentially be a victim? Or are you going to start considering investing in policies to protect your families in the event that you become the next victim? That is what persons should start considering, and that is what persons have been considering. We see so many persons coming into our office seeking to get more information and make the investment, especially as this deadly virus, this pandemic has come upon us.
Right. Well, we unfortunately living in the Caribbean, COVID is not the only thing we have to prepare for. We have hurricane season.
Hurricanes, yes.
How should Kittitians and Divisions prepare in terms of insurance for the hurricane season?
Well, the first thing you should do is get your property valued, evaluated. There are professionals out there in that area, of course, who can come and assess the worth of your property. And then you need to get an insurance, a property insurance package that will adequately cover your property. A mistake that some persons make is, yes, they might have property insurance already, but they don't regularly get their property assessed. So if you would have added a stove, a fridge, a couch set, you painted over the property, you added different fixtures and so on, the value of the property would have increased, but you did not increase the property insurance to accommodate that. So if a hurricane comes and God forbid your whole house as well as the contents are lost, you might be underinsured. So persons need to ensure that they have adequate coverage. You need to consult a reputable firm who can give you that coverage. My company, Sagicor Insurance, does health and life insurance, but we have our partners, I would say, at TDC Insurance who can do that, and various other companies around St. Kitts and Nevis. So it is important to look into that to ensure that you have adequate security, especially to safeguard against hurricanes and other natural disasters.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Nazar. I have a question that may, seem controversial to some. There was an instance when a young man I know, do you do car insurance at Sagicor?
No, we don't.
But you have partners who...
Yes.
Okay, so maybe so it's possible that you may be able to answer the question.
Sure.
So, say I insure my car for, X amount of dollars, let's say 20 grand, right? The process is you come, you get your car inspected, the mechanic values the vehicle, blah, 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 you bring it, they say you want to insure my car for this amount of money, and they give you a premium.
Sure.
Right? And you pay that premium over, the space of time. You unfortunately get into a car accident a few years later, whenever it is, and you go to make your claim, the car is written off because of the extent of the damage, and then the insurance company now tells you, well, we had our mechanics value the vehicle and it was overvalued. It wasn't valued for 20 grand. So we can only give you 18 or 17 or 16. Right? and I've seen this happen multiple times. Why is it that insurance companies, when it comes to you paying your premium, you can insure your car for how much ever you want to, because obviously, the higher the premium, the better it is for the people receiving the premium. But when the accident actually happens, there's a way we have to value the vehicle to see how much we can give you after it's written off. Some people find that very unfair. I've had people who are in insurance tell me that these are the actual regulations, for insurance, and it's not any, it's not illegal per se, because you sign on to it or whatever.
Sure.
So I don't know if you have an experience in that, that part of it, but if you could shed some light.
Okay, well, so they're saying that they have to value the damaged vehicle to understand the value of it at that point in time. What would have been the value of it before it was damaged?
That is correct.
Okay, well, based upon what you said, I think that the valuation of the vehicle would have been done when you started the policy, if I get you correctly. So in my estimation, my understanding of what you're saying, then that should be the value that the insurance company should be looking at. That is just my perspective. But again, that is not my field of expertise.
Right. Apparently, it's not the case at all.
Well, what I would do, I wouldn't want to jump to any assumptions or any conclusions. What I would do is refer you again to one of our partners, our specialists at TDC Insurance or any other company of your choice who can sit down with you and give you proper insight into the ins and outs of that type of insurance. I wouldn't want to give any factual and concrete information on that. My area of expertise would be life and medical insurance, and to some extent property insurance.
Okay, yes. Brilliant. Yes. Do you have any more questions, Kevin?
No, I think we covered.
Anything Quinn you want to relate to the public, the listening audience?
Absolutely. I mean, when we look at the COVID-19 virus and how it has affected so many persons worldwide, again, it begs the question, why are persons apprehensive about insurance? Why are you delaying it? We don't know what tomorrow holds. It doesn't have to be COVID. It could be something unforeseen. You could be crossing the street tomorrow. I mean, we see so many different situations happen, not only locally, regionally, internationally, that we have to start taking the initiative. We have to feel compelled in some way to protect ourselves and to protect our loved ones. There are persons who are getting to retirement age and they do not have adequate savings. What are you personally going to do about protecting yourself financially for the future? You have young children, people who are dependent on you. What if you pass away? How will they survive? What are you doing to protect those persons? We are the specialists in that area. That is where we give you the financial roadmap and the play to allow you to rid yourself of the heartache that will come if you don't put these things in place. Insurance, again, is not an expense. It is an opportunity to protect you financially for the future and to protect your loved ones and your children in the event that you pass away. I encourage the general public to view it in that way. Ensure that you consult with a financial advisor and get the information and seek to invest in a policy. My name is Quinn Martin. I am available at Sagico Insurance. My phone number is 765-7957. 765-7957. Please give me a call today. I would be happy to meet with you and give you the information that you need to make a wise financial decision.
The guy just said everything I was going to say.
Right?
Martin from Sagico.
He take all the questions.
And all the guests have been doing that all morning, just taking over the show and doing as they like. But Quinn, thank you very much for joining us.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Very, very informative. And we do encourage, more young people, especially the ones who are, just entering the work field, before the bills start to rack up on you, make sure one of those opportunities, not expense, is to cover yourself with, with your medical insurance and other types of insurance.
Surely.
Homeowners, if you upgrade your property, get a revaluation done, make sure your house is insured for the correct amount. And where's Sagico located?
On Central Street, Bastille, right opposite National Bank. Right
Upstairs,
on the opposite side, right on the upstairs, yes.
Okay, brilliant. And when you're going, just ask for Quinn, or you can call and make an appointment.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Quinn.
You're welcome.
That brings us to the end of our umpteenth plus one episode of Island Tea. Kevin, do you have any last words?
Tomorrow, we have a guest, as usual. But tomorrow we have with us in studio Natalie Kelsick, and we of course will be
from where?
What?
Natalie Kelsick. Who is Natalie Kelsick? Oh my gosh. of Hosfords.
Right.
Wow. This is what I've been dealing with every day, boy. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that brings us to the end. Thank you for listening, folks. Thank you for watching on our Facebook and YouTube Live. You'll see us and you'll hear us again tomorrow at 8 a.m. on the spot.